No, it's just for my friend. Okay,
Right.
introducing Prof. Anthony Littlewood. Okay, who has written 3 books on cricket.
2, I have started a third.
Okay, fantastic.
No, I'm actually a Byzantinist. Well, anyway, hello.
That's Julian Howard.
Julian House.
Yeah.
Your friend has here asked me to tell you about the 2 cricket books I have written. But first, are you a member of the Association of Cricket Statisticians and Historians? ACS for short. Because it has done a lot of remarkably good work in, first of all, statistics, and increasingly in more recent years, history of cricket in all sorts of ways. And they started some years ago a series of books called Lives in Cricket, which are biographies of cricketers, unlike Bradman and Hutton and Sobers and so on, who have many biographies, and the sales of which, of course, are very large. So these biographies in Lives in Cricket are of players who are not as well known, but are very interesting and therefore should have biographies. And I have written 2 biographies of Leicestershire County cricketers, all-rounders, who also played for England, one of them only once, and the other 9 times.
Wow.
The first is J.H. King, Jack King, who first made his debut in the second half of the 1890s and still was playing cricket in the 1920s. In fact, he got a double century at about the age of 50. Well, that book is called J.H. King, Leicestershire's Longivous Left-Hander, and I can't remember the exact year in which it came out. It was round about 2009, 2010 or so.
Can one get it on Amazon?
I don't know, no idea, but one can get it from the Association.
Okay.
In fact, it has now been remaindered and is on sale at £5. The other one came out just this last year, 2014. Unfortunately, because I was away, somebody else did the index, which is in fact very badly done, but I did the rest of it, the basic book. And that is of W.E. Astill, who made his debut in 2006. Sorry, 1906.
Oh, 1906.
1906,
Wow,
yes,
wow.
of course. And he is one of only 9 players in the whole history of first-class cricket who both scored over 20,000 runs
Wow.
and took 2,000 wickets.
Really?
Yes, the others are.
He's one of the greatest.
He's not as well known as the others are. The others are Grace, Rhodes, and Hurst.
What, Jonty Rhodes?
No. Wilfred Rhodes. This is before and just after the First World War.
Oh, wow,
And
okay.
no,
So you like
Rhodes has taken more wickets than anybody else ever in first-class cricket. And Rhodes and Hurst were both from Yorkshire. Hurst is supposed to be some complicated relation of mine, actually.
Wow.
Anyway, there were those 3, and then between the wars, we have Astill, Tate, and Woolley. And then since the war, it's been Bailey, Titmuss, and Illingworth. And those are the only 9 in the whole history of.
Amazing,
And Astill is one of them. And I have just written this biography, the first ever biography of Ewart Astill.
The family must be very impressed and very proud.
Sorry?
His family, are they
He
still...
never married.
He never married?
Nope. He was one of many, many children, but he never married. But the earlier one, King, I knew his daughter when his daughter was in her 80s.
Wow.
So I do have quite a lot of personal information there.
Amazing.
And the third cricketer on which ACS now wishes me to write a biography is George Geary, who was slightly younger than Astle, and he played for Leicestershire and England. He got Bradman out a few times in test matches, and in fact Bradman had a very high opinion of him. I have in fact a brief letter from Bradman about him. I wrote to Bradman before he died. Anyway, I just thought you may, or rather your friend thought that you may be interested in this information.
Can I say, have you heard of the commentator Charles Fortune, the great? He was the great South African commentator, cricket commentator.
Yes, I have.
Charles Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
He was a legend. He was a legend.
Yes, yes.
And there was a good friend of mine who lives in Israel, Solly Katz. He was the wicket keeper before Irvine, and
yes.
he played for Transvaal and he played for South Africa once. And then Irvine took over his position.
Yes.
But
yes.
So Julian knows him as well. Yeah, wow, what a small world. You're like a cricket historian.
And here we meet in the street in Addis.
You could be you are a cricket historian as well.
Yes.
Amongst a philatelist and a philosopher.
But I only started writing about cricket after I retired nearly 10 years ago.
And have you written about stamps at all?
No.
So maybe that's the next venture.
No.
Okay.
But I knew very well Heinz Katcher, who was the owner of the Amateur Collector, which was the Swiss specialist stamp firm in England. But he's now retired, and
there was another chap. Did you used to go to the stamp dealers in England?
No.
There was a chap, Bruckenheimer, Leslie Bruckenheimer. He had a stamp shop next to the British Museum. So I'm quite friendly with him. So you know Stanley Gibbons and...
well, yes, but I mean, for my purposes, Stanley Gibbons is not specialised enough.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, when you're dealing with the types and the stones and the position on the stones and so on of the realms.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Anthony, I really appreciate it. All the best things.
Well, goodbye, and enjoy your cricket.
And come visit us in Israel. You'll visit my neighbour. And maybe there'll be even a local cricket game or whatever.
Oh, that would be
Are you
nice.
into soccer as well? Any other sports? Or mainly cricket?
Mainly cricket, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anthony, thanks a million.